Hello everybody, this is an update about what is happening at CNC in September. I thought this would be more interesting than a long email, so this is your notice. We're going to start with our information about online and then we're going to talk about offline as well. So I'm really pleased that we are able to continue with an online service in September, but it's going to be a little bit different to how it has been before. Our online service is going to move from Zoom to YouTube, and we are going to be live streaming the service offline onto the online platform of YouTube. Give us grace, we're figuring out how to do it, but I think it's going to work really well. And then alongside that, we are going to have a coffee room Zoom at the end of that service, which will be using the normal Zoom that we've been using so far for September as well. So it will be a live stream where you watch the service and then you can hop on and chat about how your week has been on the Zoom. We're also going to be moving back to using our WhatsApp primarily for broadcasting. I'm aware that lots of us can have a million WhatsApp groups on our phones, so we want to just make sure that that we're not clogging with lots of messages. So this is your kind of pre-warning that we're going to be shutting that group in September. So if you want to make contact with people you've been chatting to on that group, I know there's been quite a strong horticultural discussion going on, and I know there was a Welsh WhatsApp that started. This is the time to grab numbers and make those kind of smaller connections now. That is our online. And the other thing I should mention about online, which I'm very excited about, is that from October we're going to be running an online alpha again, and there'll be a bit more information about that nearer the time. Offline is a little bit longer about what is happening. So as you may know, if you were there last Sunday, we are, Bourneside School have asked us just to hold back from planning to meet there for a little while. I think, as many of us know, schools are really having to adapt very quickly to quite a lot of change. So for now, and at least until October, if not longer, depending on what's happening, we are going to be meeting instead at the URC Church in Warden Hill. A huge thank you to Gary for and those there for coming through for us and being able to offer us a building. It's such a blessing, and we have that available for us at least up until November, December time. So that's really great. Now, if you've been to the URC before, it will be no surprise to you that there are some space limitations with meeting in there, which would have been the case anywhere we met. Simply when you're having a 2-metre social distancing spacing, that obviously limits how many people can be in a space. And there are social distancing things we need to be aware of as well. I will preface as well at the beginning to say that the current government guidelines for worshipping groups meeting together is that unless you have a medical reason why you're not wearing one, everyone will be expected to wear a face mask in inside services. So that will be the expectation. So pre-warning, if you haven't got a face mask, I'll be surprised, but to get those ordered because we'll need those on when we meet together. I'm going to come back to the space limitations in just a moment, but the main reason I'm really excited about meeting offline is that it will be great to be able to have some children's work happening during the service. Again, because our kids have done an amazing job on Zoom, but I think it would be lovely if for those that are ready to meet back together. The children's work will be happening in the hall space in the URC, and what we're going to do to try and kind of again keep those numbers low in the church space, and also going with the guidance that we've been given for children's work, is that children will be signed out at the beginning of the service, before the service, into the hall, before the adults go into the church space. Now, this is helpful for a few reasons. It's good for the guidance that we have about keeping kind of the numbers as low as possible, and also it means that frees up space in the church space that we can have as many people as possible in there. Now, like you, in my ideal world, I would rather have everyone together and then send the children out, because that says something about who we are as the people of God. However, I think under the circumstances, that would really limit our numbers. And so this feels like the best solution for now. As with always, as things change, we will adapt and try and see how we can do more together as a family as time goes on. So you will sign your children out at the beginning if you're a parent, and you'll collect them at the end of the service as you're leaving. Because of that, and also because we have been advised to try and keep our services as short as possible, we are going to have aim for a service of 45 minutes to 50 minutes. I'm leading the first 2 weeks, so I can guarantee that that's going to be the case. So that that kind of fits into the amount of time that kids work would normally happen for, and it helps us keep in those guidelines again. For the youth at the moment, the youth are not going to be able to meet on Sunday mornings. I know Hannah has other plans for things happening during the week, but the sermon series that we're doing on making disciples is actually also aimed for young people. And so my hope is it will be engaging enough and interesting enough to keep the youth involved. And it's a good chance for them to plug in with the rest of us. If it is not interesting, you have my guarantee. Let me know and I'll have all the youth round and I will feed them cake. So interesting or cake is the kind of choice for the young people, but that's the plan for now for young people. Now the church space, as I mentioned, is quite small. We are still, at the moment, the guidance is 2 metres with face masks for church meetings. So we have calculated that we can have up to 30 people in that space, depending on household size, because that slightly impacts how you put the chairs out. And that excludes like the preacher and the leader and those people. So what that means is, at least initially, we're going to need to use a booking system for Sunday mornings, similar to how we booked the outdoor service. This is not a bad thing anyway, because it helps us with track and trace, because it means we know who's there each Sunday. And so let me explain a little bit about how that's going to go. The booking system is going to open the Sunday before the Sunday that you're booking for. So for example, for the 6th of September, this Sunday coming up will be when booking opens at noon. So emailing beforehand, Claire, I think, will sadly not add your name, but if you need to email from noon the Sunday before the Sunday you would like to come to church. Now, we don't know, obviously, how many people are going to be ready to come back and how many people are going to continue with our online service. My main emphasis I want to say is do what you feel where you're at right now. It's totally fine if you're still in a place where you're not ready to come back or you have reasons why coming back is not the right choice. Absolutely understandable. Don't at all feel that because we're back in person for one of our services that you have to do what you're not ready to do. That's absolutely not what we're intending. But if you are keen to access that offline service, then emailing at 12 from noon the Sunday before to Claire at CNC will make sure and get your name down for that. In the situation which may happen where we have more than 30 people booking for a Sunday morning, what Claire will do is put you on the following week. And my hope is if everybody wanted to come back, that means we would have people able to come every other week. It may not actually be an issue, but we just don't know at the moment. And you only need to book for adults, not children, because the children are signing into the whole space. That frees up more space in the church, which is why we're doing it this way. And so, for example, if you're a family of one parent and 2 children, you would actually only need to register yourself. If you're a parent of 2 parents, a youth and a child, that would count as 3. Let's keep playing. If you're a parent of 7 children and 1 adult, it would actually only count as 1 because the children count in separate numbers. Now, my hope is that that means that we're able to access offline as the guidance changes. If the social distances go smaller or if different things change, then of course we will adapt and change. I've been really impressed with how the church has done that so far. And so we'll keep adapting as we go. And my hope is that as many people as want are able to access church in a way that works for them at the moment. We're going to review as we go and adjust. I would just thank you so much to everyone who's been working really hard to get us to this point. Please, thank you so much. I've been so grateful for the gracious way that people have coped with change, particularly as we start to set up this new live stream and in-person church at the same time. Really, really appreciate your continued grace as we adapt. And I'm aware that lots of us are going through lots of changes in our workplaces and in schools and everything at the moment. And I know that that's really hard. So thank you so much for the way that you've been really flexible about church. If you would like to chat through anything that we've talked about this morning, or if there's further questions, specific or unspecific, do give me a call. My number is, I'll put it on the email. Because I'd love to chat through why we've got to where we've got to and what that means. So just a reminder, if you're coming to that offline service, you'll need your face mask. We won't be doing sung worship currently, although we are actually able to have some music, which would be great. So you can worship with your body, but not with your voice at the moment. So maybe it's time for liturgical dance to start. I don't know. I'm beginning to tangent and we're nearly at 10 minutes, which is a sign this video should end. But thank you so much for all your support so far. And I'm really looking forward to seeing you, whether that's offline or online, in the next few weeks. Bye.